This is a video review for a quiz on apostrophes, colons, and semicolons. So let's look at 4 different ways that apostrophes are used. Apostrophes are used for, number 1, possession. You use an apostrophe S for most cases, including all singular nouns and plural nouns that do not end in S. You do use an apostrophe only for plural nouns that end in S to show possession, or an apostrophe only for rare exceptions. These are names that end with sounds like Jesus, Moses, Socrates, etc. You can also use apostrophes to omit letters or numbers. For example, in contractions, you can replace cannot with can't, or apostrophe 97 for 1997. 3. You can pluralize letters, numbers, symbols, or words as words. Ones, twos, numbers, money signs, P's, Q's, etc. Lastly, you can use apostrophes to show joint or singular possession. For example, Laurel and Hardy's comedies, this shows a shared ownership, whereas Boeing's and Lockheed's airplanes shows separate ownership. Semicolons are used for connecting 2 independent clauses related in theme and content. They are often used to join contrasting statements. The clauses joined with semicolons are usually short and of similar length. Semicolons are especially used before a transitional expression, often a conjunctive adverb. And secondly, semicolons are used to separate items in a list with internal punctuation. Here's an example. Steak, my favorite food, semicolon. Milk, which helps bones grow, semicolon. And eggs full of protein, comma, are my favorite foods at the grocery store. Then for colons, number 1, after an independent clause and before a list, an appositive, or a quotation. And 2, between independent clauses if the second summarizes or explains the first. So let's go ahead and break down the quiz. Number 1, here, B was the best answer. Matt and Shannon with the single apostrophe S at the end. This shows joint ownership of the home. Number 2 was the contraction shouldn't, where the apostrophe is omitting the letter O. In number 3, this was just a plural noun, so friends with no apostrophe was the correct answer. And in number 4, we wanted it is. This is the contraction, it is, rather than showing ownership. For 5, A, apostrophe S was correct. We want to show possession, who the architect belonged to, or I guess what the architect belonged to. And in this case, it was a singular noun that did not end in S. Number 6 was also A. In this case, the closet belongs to the son, singular, so apostrophe S shows possession. Number 7 was B. This is one that a lot of students got wrong. The clue is that they have 2 dogs, Rover and Spike. So in this case, dogs is a plural noun. That's one of the few cases where we put just the apostrophe to show possession. Number 8 here, workspaces, is just a plural noun. No possession, so no apostrophe. In number 9, we are showing separate ownership. So the apostrophe S has to be applied to both Matt and Shannon because they have separate offices. In number 10, the boss belongs to Matt, a singular noun. So apostrophe S is the appropriate ending. Number 11 is also A because boss here is a singular noun. His or her is one clue, referring back to boss being singular. So even though it ends in a double S, it's still a singular noun, so we still put apostrophe S. Number 12, C was the right answer, anyone's. There's no possession here. It's just an indefinite pronoun. 13 was A, the goal belonging to life, singular. So apostrophe S was the appropriate thing to show possession. And for 14, we wanted the contraction that is, A. Moving on to semicolons. For 15, B, the semicolon, was the correct answer here. We had I wonder and then it is. The verb was hidden inside of the contraction. Because we have 2 independent clauses here joined without a conjunction, the semicolon is the best choice. 16, again, B, the semicolon is correct. We have place to be is, and I can forget. 2 independent clauses joined without a conjunction. The semicolon is the correct choice. 17 again has 2 independent clauses. Here, we have a fanboy though. So we can correctly join them with a comma. 18 was again B, a semicolon. Whenever we have two independent clauses, you can join them with a semicolon or a comma conjunction. 19. After which words should semicolons be placed? The correct answer here was B. These were the comma phrases that made up items in the list. So the sentence should be punctuated like this. The last couple questions were about colons. Number 20 should have been A. After ingredients is a list. So that's one correct way to introduce a list with a colon here. Everything in front of it had to be an independent clause, which that's true here. 21 was B. No colon was necessary there. I was able to see is not a complete sentence, so the colon would be incorrectly used there to introduce a list. For 22, B, yes, it's appropriate to use the colon here. And it's an A positive following an independent clause is the reason why. You can use a colon in this way as well as to introduce a list.